We are in this beautiful 5-star Pennsylvania park, and the first decoration tip that I want to share with you is regarding these banners. So there are all these banner colors. There's blue, green, red, yellow, and the way I personally use them is to indicate something. So in all of my parks, the different banner colors indicate a different either dinosaur type or a different guest utility. In this case, this is an all carnivore park, so the red banners indicate the carnivore enclosure. So you have a banner 90 degrees here, and it indicates that there's a carnivore viewing station, right? You see these blue banners. These are actually one of the most important ones. For me, in this park at least, they indicate shelters. So at all of my shelters, there's another one here. It's kind of hidden, right? We have the blue banners to indicate, security. It's sort of like the, I don't know, the company color or whatever. We have yellow. This is the most used banner. For me personally, or at least in this park, I use yellow as sort of like money or gold to indicate that there are all of these amenity stations. You can buy stuff. And let me show you another example, because I have a similar amenity, little nice hub here. So again, diagonally, so when the guests come, they are like, oh, okay, this way there are stuff that I can buy. And look, there's a red here that indicates a carnivore viewing station. In this case, it's a platform for our nice little gigas and compsognathuses. The final color that I did not show you yet is green. And in most parks, I would use green as an indicator for the herbivores, right? So red for carnivores, green for herbivores. Here I also have yellow for the monorail station. Technically it's not something that you have to buy, but it's kind of like a guest utility. However, as I mentioned, this park is a fully carnivore park. There are 0 herbivores. Therefore the green is used to indicate hotels, so accommodation stuff. Again, diagonally here, so it shows guests where they need to go. And this is all like obviously make-believe stuff. Like, you don't have to use decorations at all, but it does make your park really nice, in my opinion. As I always said in my Zoo Tycoon 2 videos, there are, in my opinion, 3 levels for designing a park. The first level is just being completely clean and organized, and everything is centered and everything is symmetric. The second level is just chaos. Everything is chaos. Everything is thrown around, especially when it comes to nature, right? Like trees and rocks. However, there is a third level. Again, this is mostly for enclosures, but the third level is organized chaos. So you have a little bit of chaos, but it's organized. For instance, here at the Raptors, I don't have rocks inside the forest. I don't have random rocks on the grass. I have rocks around the dirt paths that these raptors use, and I might have some rocks around the water, but here I have a little like jungle area at the water. And you can use the same idea when it comes to decorations. So as I said, for the different banner colors, I use different decorations to indicate different stuff. So I don't know why, but I always use this little waterfall thing next to restrooms, because personally it would make me wanna use the restroom if I heard this water splashing. I also use similar flowers. As you can see, there are these purple flowers. Didn't even notice, but I use similar purple flowers in this weird form. And actually, like the bathroom tile is similar to this wooden arch thing, which is kind of cool. I didn't even notice that. Another little rule I use for this park is that the Spino skeleton indicates, well, it's the hub for the buffets and the drink stations and where people can sit down. However, more importantly, and it's kind of cool, is that I use the Spinosaurus skull. So there's only, unfortunately, a full skeleton and a skull. It would be cool to have like a T-Rex skull and other skulls and all sorts of skulls. But I use the Spinosaurus skull to, again, indicate emergency shelters. Like I use the blue banners, I use the Spinosaurus skulls, and I actually forgot to put them here. I also like to put lights. And the reason is, imagine like there's a storm and people are scrambling to find the nearest shelter. Well, lights are important to see where the entrance is, but the reason why I use the Spinosaurus skull next to shelters, and I'll show you another example, and it's because you remember it. You remember seeing a really cool Spinosaurus skeleton or skull, and in my mind, like these guests, you know, they go around the park, they see the skull, they remember the skull, and they remember to look around the skull, and they see the emergency shelter. So then the next time there's an emergency, they know where to run. The third tip, and it's kind of ties to the second organized chaos tip, is where to use which lights. So there are technically 3 types of main lights. There's these 2 small ones, there's a big one, but remember that these banners also have lights at the very bottom. I didn't really follow this tip in this park itself, but different lights mean different things to me. These 2 types of lights, the one that you see here, this one, and these big ones, are more to me like guest lights. You know, they look nice, whereas this one is more about facility. So if we go back to the back of the park where I have all the facilities, I probably mainly use these sort of facility lights, except for staff centers, which are a bit more, you know, guest-like and nice and decorated. For those I use the more guesty lights, I guess. Let me begin tip number 4 with saying that it annoys me so much that there is 1 decoration or 2 decorations missing from all of these amazing decorations, and that is benches and also bins. Now obviously if they just added benches, no people uses these sort of picnic benches, and no people would actually use or need the bins. It's kind of funny because the original Jurassic Park Operation Genesis had the benches and the bins, and you needed them. Here you don't, and I'm just really bummed about not having benches, so I use these little picnic areas quite a lot. As you can see here, we have some nature resort thing. I even put a little fountain here. This is an important area. It's very decorated because this is where the first monorail station is. But yeah, I put some picnic tables here because if I was a guest, I would love to sit down. And there's some other tables, for instance, and we have a storm. We also have some staff centers here that have these picnic tables at the back, so they can, you know, the scientists can enjoy their free time. And an even better example is the very first staff center. It has a front entrance and a back entrance, and there's picnic tables that they can use, and sometimes I throw in a picnic table that is closed. So I have a lot of picnic tables. Don't mind the tornado. I have a lot of picnic tables here, and these are all open and symmetric, but I don't really like using the closed ones because they ruin the symmetry a little bit. But in some of the nature picnic tables I use those as well. So that's the tip, just use these picnic tables as much as you can, honestly. Tip number 5 is regarding nature. So I'm mainly talking about these, not just the actual trees, but the planters. Yeah, there's all sorts of different planters you can use, and I actually hate using these because I can never fully utilize them or put them, you know, symmetrically on the path. But this is an okay example. So we have some one kind of planter. I don't like to use multiple kinds or more than 2 kinds. And we have actual nature at the grassy area of this little, I guess, oasis or island. And here it would be actually impossible to, in a small area like this, to just use the forest because no trees would pop up. You have to unfortunately use the actual decoration trees, and these decoration trees are always the same as the forest painter or whatever in the nature tab. But it's better because you can actually like place them here. Like you can place an actual tree here if you wanted, in even smaller spaces. Here I just have smaller trees to kind of blend in with these little planters, but yeah, combine the planters with some actual trees. I also have some parks where you see these little tree here. I would have something like a planter. It's not gonna look nice here because it's only one, but I would have a planter, and I would have... I really like the circular trees like this, and these would serve the edge of different, not vanity areas, the buffets, you know, the amenity areas. This would be like an edge to those um, buildings. So they don't just end abruptly. Even here I have some tree stuff, but it looks really weird when it just ends abruptly. So here I should put some other trees, and here too. And it kind of goes with this tip. I like to play on flattened parks because at the end of the day you can just click on the forest, and wherever there's sort of like a naked area, you can just go like this and just create little hubs of trees, like here too. Obviously this is gonna make the Jeep a bit slower, and there I shouldn't have put anything because you see there's a door, but creating these little islands, combining that with the planters and the actual trees that you can place in smaller areas is just a nice touch. Tip is about using these decorations. They are not really decorations, they are more like facility miscellaneous objects. One of my favorite, I actually didn't use these for a long time because I just didn't really understand, but now I sort of understand that, well, they don't really serve a purpose, but they do make the stuff parts a little bit livelier. My favorite one is this, I didn't even know it, it's actually a camera post with a whatever this is called, the sun thing, and I place these around power stations to sort of protect them, because power stations are really important and you wanna protect them from getting hacked and, you know, whatever. I have an expedition center here which has a tent here. Like the lore, I guess, of this park is here they either do like fossil finding inside the park, or this is like for the interns to try out excavations and whatnot. And I also have a big cage here next to the expedition center, because the expedition center is also used for capturing wild dinosaurs sometimes, right? I also have some crates, so these crates in my mind contain the fossils, and I also have a couple here at the science center. So here on the right we have the expedition center that brings the fossils, science center which uses the fossils to, you know, get DNA, and then there's this little truck thing that takes the fossils from here to the left. Right? Also have some other boxes here of like smaller fossils or amber or whatever. And what else? As I said, I have cameras next to the power stations. I have nothing at the in the control center. I just left this naked. I don't really know why. But I also have obviously the capture team. These names are so stupid, honestly. Our response facility. At the response facility we have again, a dinosaur cage. We have a little outside area where, you know, the lore is that they fix the cars here that get damaged because of the dinosaurs. But honestly, the best place to where I utilize these miscellaneous objects is the Raptor exhibit. So if you play Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, you know what this is. This used to be the hatchery, and now it's just miscellaneous objects. But I had like an idea where I have the raptor cage, and then outside it we would have like small raptor cages, this raptor holding facility that used to be the old hatchery, in a separate cage. And there's another one here, and this is where the viewing platform is built into. It's so fucking cool, honestly. I don't want to remove these. Honestly, to go with the lore or the authenticity, I should put like a gate here, but whatever. And I also have some cameras for the raptors because they're really dangerous, remember. And I have, this is actually a perch for the flying dinosaurs, aviary perch was, but I sort of use them next to power stations, and like, I don't know, if the raptors got out, this is where, I don't know, military guy or someone would climb up to shoot them, which is kind of morbid, but whatever. This next tip is sort of hard to explain, but it's honestly the coolest thing that I ever thought of. We have Gigantosauruses here, and these were, or we only have one now, but this dinosaur was the big thing. I never had a large carnivore besides, like, I guess an Allosaurus, but that's maybe medium. So I really wanted to make this dinosaur feel special and dangerous. So what I did was I created the enclosure, obviously, and remember, it's a really like dangerous big dinosaur. I didn't want to put viewing platforms into the fence because, again, he's very dangerous. So what I did is I placed an altogether separate fence, and that's where I put the viewing platforms that actually see right inside of that nice little exhibit. And if you notice, once you go into like this dangerous road next to the Gigantosaurus, you actually have to enter an actual like little cage here. And this road is like, I don't know, it's dangerous, you know, you shouldn't be here. We have the little cage here as well, and the power station here is important because it supplies power to the Gigantosaurus cage, and that is extra protected. And we have cameras everywhere. And even here, I put this little park here, even before I knew what to do with the with this exhibit. And I covered it with trees so the Gigantosaurus cannot see people, you know, just like sitting here. And honestly, I should just like put trees here to protect the people more, but that would cover the cameras and also the view. So look, it's kind of cool. It's like an extra layer of protection here. And an even better example that I had recently was with the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex. So the Spinosaurus, again, viewing platforms, not connected to the cage. They are separately connected to a second row of fences, and this inside part is protected with trees. So if the Spinosaurus were to get out at this so-called weak point, it would also have to tackle the trees and get out here as well. So it has this sort of element of danger. But even better an example, we have the star of the park, the Tyrannosaurus. And for the Tyrannosaurus, there are actually viewing galleries connected to this extremely solid concrete block of a fence. But to enter, so as a guest, if you enter, you have to enter this little cage yourself. And this is kind of the lore that this is a dangerous spot, and they just wanted to protect this extra carefully. So they put fences here, but also management didn't want people to be afraid, so they covered it with trees, so the fences are not that visible, and there are cameras everywhere. So you feel really in danger when you enter this Tyrannosaurus spot. You know, and normally it's really far away as well. It's kind of cool. So make your dangerous dinosaurs feel dangerous by designing the guest areas around them. Another small tip, really, it's more of an extra, is I guess it's connected to tip number 2 and 3. I just wanted to briefly mention them because I forgot, is the use of amber and research sciency decorations next to the actual research labs and hatcheries and even the paleo centers. So in my park, the amber represents this like sort of knowledge, DNA, you know, fossils and whatever. So this is why I have next to Science Center, where you extract the fossils, I have these little amber monuments. And I also have these waterfalls. There's two type of waterfalls. There's this one, and there's just a normal like rock one that is a bit bigger. While the Sciency one is mainly used next to the, again, the science center, hatcheries, because that's where the magic sort of happens. And this goes back to the use of themes. Use the fuel tanks next to the generators, use the cameras next to dangerous dinosaurs, etc. So thanks for watching this video, subscribe for more, and like if you've enjoyed. Thanks, bye.